Hey guys, what's up? This is Dark Claw of Dark Claw's Domain, and now that I've covered my PlayStation 2 collection, I will show you my original Xbox collection. Now, as you can see here, I don't have that many games for it, and the only reason why I don't have that many games for my original Xbox is because I've only had this system for a little over a year now, and I haven't gotten, and I haven't purchased a crap ton of games for it, as I've mostly just been getting games for my other systems. But when I do see an original Xbox game that piques my interest, I will pick it up. But anyways, I don't have a ton of games, but I have a fair amount, about like 26 games, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but but I think that's it. Anyways, so without further ado, let's get started. Actually, quick warning, there's going to be a bunch of burned CDs in here, in this little case, because this is where the rest of my original Xbox games go, and some of them are going to be on burned CDs, so just fair warning about that. My system is, in fact, modded, so these games do, in fact, play. Granted, the modding of the system was not my doing. I'm not that technical. I'm not that much of a technical genius. And I don't really know how to get the games onto a burned CD. I don't think I do, anyways. Let's just get started and stop farting around, and let's get around to the games. So, the first game I have for the system is the Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. I don't necessarily have the official cover art for it. I just have this, I just have it in this green case with the manual on the disc. Suffice it to say, I actually haven't played this game yet. I don't know why. I just never made the time to play it. But I really do want to get into it, because I've heard a lot of good things about Morrowind, hearing it's one of the best games in the series. I have played an Elder Scrolls game before. In fact, I do have Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion and Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim on PS3, and I've played them both. 4 Oblivion was not that great in my opinion. I thought it was just okay at best. I felt it was just too slow for my liking. And Skyrim, I actually really liked. It was a lot of fun. Next up is another game that doesn't really have a full case. This is a Star Wars: The Clone Wars and Tetris Worlds on a double disc. One of the few dual disc games I have. Star Wars: The Clone Wars I have on the GameCube as well, and Tetris Worlds I have it on the PlayStation 2 as well. Star Wars: The Clone Wars, I didn't play the Xbox version, but I played the GameCube version, and they're pretty much the same, I believe. But the game is pretty decent. Not amazing, but not a bad game for what it is. And Tetris Worlds, it looks a lot better on the original Xbox than it does on the PlayStation 2, that's for sure, and it does allow for custom soundtracks. I do prefer the PS2 version, because that is what I grew up on, and it's a little bit because of nostalgia, but still. The Xbox version is really good. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Now, I gotta say, I'm not the biggest GTA fan. Never have been, never will. But I don't hate this series. I do play them every now and then when I feel like it, but not often. I just feel like these games are severely overhyped, and like I don't mind playing a game that a lot of other people do play, but GTA is just one of those games where I never really could get into too much. Like I said, I'll play them every now and then, but not frequently. As for San Andreas, it's not a bad game, but I have a hard time playing this one, and the main reason I have a hard time with this one is just because the inverted movement controls. I can never get used to that. Now, when I control a vehicle, it's completely fine, but when I control CJ walking around, I always have a hard time doing that for whatever reason, and it makes combat frustrating. Not only that, it makes moving around really frustrating, so I wasn't a fan of that. Men of Valor. I haven't played this yet. Maybe I might like it, maybe I won't. I don't know. Who knows? Destroy All Humans. I have the second one as well, but I have it on PlayStation 2. Well, not a physical copy of the PlayStation 2 version anyway. I have it downloaded on my PS4. Anyways, Destroy All Humans 1. This is a really fun game. If you don't know what this is, it's basically an adventure game where you play as an alien named Crypto, whose object is very self-explanatory, to destroy all the human race, and especially Earth. And it's actually a very innovative game for its time. This one, you can actually possess humans. You can disguise yourself as one. You can screw with their minds. You can extract their DNA. You can even just shock them, kill them, whatever you want. Hell, you can even go in your own saucer and destroy the environments. It's so much fun. Really solid game. I highly recommend checking this out. It's developed by the same guys that did the first two Star Wars Battlefront games on the PS2 and Xbox. And they also did Mercenaries on the same system as well. And when I say Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, I'm talking about the old games that were on PS2 and Xbox, not the shitty reboots. Dead or Alive 3. This is the only DOA game I have in my collection at the moment. I'm intending on getting DOA 5 last round for my PS4 and Xbox One. But DOA 3, this is a really good game. Not my favorite in the series, my favorite has to be 5, but 3 is still a relatively solid game. I had a lot of fun playing it. Although, I will say this, I am absolutely terrible at these games. DOA is not my go-to fighting game of choice. They're really fun games, don't get me wrong, but I always have a hard time playing them because the controls are a little bit weird to me. I feel a bit more restrictive playing these games, so I'm always getting my ass handed to me a lot. I prefer playing Tekken or Street Fighter, but DOA, it's fun. I just have a hard time getting into it at times, just because the controls are a bit frustrating for me. Here's another dual pack. Sega GT 2002 and Jet Set Radio Future. Sega GT 2002 is just an okay racer. It's not really all that great. It's just nothing special. But Jet Set Radio Future, on the other hand, it is amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love this game. It's so much fun. Some say it's like a remake of Jet Set Radio, the original Jet Set Radio on the Dreamcast. Some say it's like a sequel or something. I don't really know what to call it. All I know is it's a great game. I had a lot of fun playing this one. Just going around on Tokyo and Shibuya, listening to the wonderfully weird soundtrack, spraying graffiti all over the place, grinding, and some form of combat or another. It's such a fun game. I really enjoyed this one. One of my favorite original Xbox games for sure. Here's another really good game. Gun. This is a game I actually remember seeing the trailer for when I was 10 years old back in 2005. And it's actually developed by the same guys that did the Tony Hawk series, believe it or not. Neversoft. Or at least all the way up to Proving Ground anyways. But Gun is a really fun game. I had a lot of enjoyment out of this. This is one of those open world games where I actually had a ton of fun. This kind of reminds me a lot of Red Dead Redemption, mainly because it takes place in the Western era. And that's not a bad thing. Although, whether this is supposed to be a copycat of Red Dead or even like a ripoff or something like that remains to be seen from my thinking. I don't even know if it is. I'll have to look that up sometime, but needless to say, it's a really fun game, and it has a really good story to it, too. I highly recommend checking it out. Crimson Skies High Road to Revenge. I actually picked this one up because this was a recommendation from one of my favorite YouTubers, Metal Jesus Rocks, who, him and his buddy Drunken Master Paul are huge fans of this game. Even Metal Jesus said this was like one of his favorite original Xbox games, and you know what? I completely understand why. This game it's awesome. It's a really fun arcade flight game with solid controls for that. It's not too handholdy, but it's not but it's suitable enough for beginners and fun for masters. It's just a well-rounded game, and it's so much fun. The characters are great, the combat is great, the voice acting is pretty solid. It's just a really fun game. I highly recommend checking this out if you haven't already. It's really cheap too, so get it while you can. Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix. This version contains much more content than the original dub edition that was released, and it has like more cards, more songs, and stuff like that. It is a really fun racing game. Loads of customization options, and just an overall... This is an overall better game than the first two games. In my opinion, the best Midnight Club game. I played the first two, and I've played this one, but I've never played Los Angeles. I don't know why, I just haven't. But Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix, fantastic racer. Half-Life 2. I haven't played too much of this, but from what I played, it was a pretty fun shooter. I like it quite a bit. Well, that's really all I gotta say, though. Now for the rest of the games that I have in this CD case here. Which, fair warning, some of these, like I said before, are burned discs, so just bear with me. Next game I have is Manhunt, which is a pretty good game. I enjoyed it, but holy shit, it is crazy. This is a very, very deranged game, because you're basically in a snuff film. You're being filmed, so you gotta go kill people. Inmates, security guards, doesn't matter, you're a psychopath on the loose, killing bastards. It's insane. Doing a lot of kills and stuff. But that is what makes this game so fun. The kills do make sense, at least, and there are a bunch of creative ways to kill in this game. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say. Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. It's not that great. It's just a mediocre run-of-the-mill movie game. Super Monkey Ball Deluxe. This game is really fun, although what I've noticed about this is basically it's an upgraded version of Super Monkey Ball 2 on the GameCube. This also got a PS2 port as well. It's a really fun game. So, yeah, all I gotta say. Forza Motorsport, the first one. I'm gonna say this right now, I'm absolutely terrible at Forza. I'm alright at Gran Turismo, I suppose, but Forza, I suck at. But then again, I didn't grow up on the original Xbox. I didn't even grow up on Xbox systems. I only started getting into them, like, during my high school years. So, yeah. But Forza 1 hasn't aged all that gracefully, but it's still a decent game to come back to every now and then, so I got no qualms. Need for Speed Carbon. Speaking of racing games, this is a damn fun game to come back to. I had a lot of enjoyment playing this one. The physics are great, the customization is great, the police chases are great. It's a great game overall. My main complaints, the soundtrack is it's just okay. I think there could have been I think the artist choices could have been better. Kudos to them for allowing some really underground artists in there, but at the same time, you know, a lot of it's just forgettable stuff. But there are some good ones, though, like Eagles of Death Metal, and a few other bands I forgot about. See what I mean? NCAA Football 2008, meh. Sports. Black. This is a very underappreciated FPS game by EA. It's also on the PS2 as well. It's actually a very late release in the Xbox's life cycle, and even the PS2's life cycle, because this game was released in 2006, I believe, just before the PlayStation 3 was released. And I actually really enjoy this game. It's a very fun shooter, and it looks amazing to this day. Definitely one of the best looking games on the system. It's not anything too groundbreaking, but it's still a really good game. The URBZ Sims in the City. I haven't even played this yet. I haven't gotten around to it. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 07. Meh, it's sports. Don't care for it. Call of Duty 3. I have this on PS2 as well. Both versions are good. This is a decent version. That's really all I gotta say, though. There's really not much I can say about the older Call of Duty games. Hunt of the Reckoning. Now, this game is really fun. It's an action beat-em-up, hack-and-slash kind of game for the system. It's also on the GameCube as well, but I think the Xbox version is better. But anyways, this is a really solid game, and it's very simple. You could just pick up and play. It does have a bit of a story to it, but it's mostly just action, straight up action, beating the living shit out of other enemies and stuff. And it also has a co-op mode, which is really cool. So you can play this with your friends. Really good game. Highly recommend it. Halo Combat Evolved, or just Halo. This game actually still holds up. I had a lot of fun playing this one. Although Halo 3 happens to be my favorite game in the series, Halo 1 is still a very good game for me. Burnout Revenge. This game is awesome. One of the best games in the Burnout series. The traffic check was a nice addition. It makes crashing into stuff even more fun because now you have another advantage of taking out your opponents by just piling up a bunch of cars on top of each other and just blowing them up. It's so much fun, and the crash mode's heavily improved too. Not only that, in the Xbox version, you can actually put in custom soundtracks, which is really sweet. Madden NFL 2008. Another sports game. Don't care for it too much. Prince of Persia: The Two Thrones. I haven't played this as much as Sands of Time or Warrior Within, but from what I played of it, it was a pretty solid game. I do like the tone they went for. It's a little bit more fitting than Warrior Within was, in my personal opinion. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I think I need to get a new copy of this because this copy just doesn't work. I think it's kind of scratched, kind of broken. I don't really know, but yeah, I'm just going to need to get a new copy anyway. But from what I played of it, it's a pretty solid game. Not bad for an early BioWare title. And last but simply not least, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. This game is awesome. I love the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance games. They're just so much fun to play. Although I'd wish they'd bring it back, because we haven't seen a new one since 2 in 2004. I'm sure the Baldur's Gate series is still going, and if it's not, I'll just go ahead and look it up, or just leave a comment below and tell me if it is still going or not. But anyways, yeah, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2. It's a really fun RPG with co-op play, and just a little bit better than the first one. Anyways, that is my original Xbox collection. Not a ton of games, but a fair amount to keep me busy. Anyways, next video will be on my GameCube collection, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Take care.